Hello and welcome. Welcome to Freedom in Lockdown. I'm Tawseek Haider, bringing you every night this series of conversations with Pakistani liberals. And tonight I'm going to introduce you to a friend whom I met about 16 years ago when he was a young boy, young kid, and we used to meet at different activities of Reddish Foundation, Pakistan. And later on, we developed a nice friendship. The whole family is now my friend. And with time, I've seen this young boy develop into one of the strong voices when it comes to human rights, when it comes to minority rights in a country like Pakistan. And I'm so very happy that Ross Mahtani is joining me for the session tonight. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, Ross saab, kya hal? How are you doing?
Walaikum salam and very warm namaste. Tawseek Saab, thank you for having me on the show, and it's always nice to be with you in show, whether when we are meeting in Islamabad or in Sindh. Yeah. So it's always nice to see you.
Ross, my first question is a hard one. Tell me, how come you have not changed in the last 15 years at all? You look the same, a 21-year-old boy, the one I met in 2005. How is that possible?
Sir, I think it's also because of the mentors like you from whom we received all the energy. And I would give this credit to also Friedrich Naumann Foundation, that I've been so lucky that I got in touch with people like you who have shaped us in a way in our intellectually, and we have grown together under your guidance, mentorship. So it's a two-way process. We try to follow you, actually.
All right. So tell me about your initial interaction with this Liberal Political Foundation, FNF. How did that happen, and how do you recall your initial days with the foundation?
So I was very active since my university days in my volunteer and community service projects. So I got to know about the youth wing of Liberal Forum Pakistan. Future Youth Group Pakistan. So I joined it, and it was something with which I could ideologically connect. And I first served as a president of district chapter in Hyderabad. Later on, we formed a body at province level. It was a youth wing of Liberal Forum Pakistan, Future Youth Group Pakistan. I got the honor to be elected as the president of the Sindh body. Later, we also had a national body, and I was the first general secretary at national level. So this is how we initiated the journey. And we organized many activities at district level, provincial level, national level, even international level also. And it was on many different themes, including peace, interfaith harmony, liberal values, democracy, and also the different issues that at that time we thought were important to discuss and debate on.
How does it feel to travel around the world, because you go and represent Pakistan on very, very reputed international fora? So we are proud of you. But how does it feel to carry the Pakistani flag belonging to a Hindu community, talking about minority rights and human rights, and a strong voice of minority rights in Pakistan? How does that feel internationally?
Sir, it was a great honor, first of all, to represent Pakistan at many international forums also. And it was also a huge responsibility at the same time, because you are representing your country and participating at so many different forums. So I personally I felt honored, and also it was a great prestigious moments for me to be part of such important forums, where I could highlight what the youth of Pakistan are thinking, what are their views, and the way forward they want to see as per the vision of our founder of the nation, Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah Saab.
All right. Is this what you wanted to do in life? Did you always want it to be what you're doing now in life, or as a child, as a young teenage boy, you had some other dreams and aspirations?
So from the very start, I was always interested in community projects, community service programs, volunteer services. I always used to spare time for such activities. I felt joy in these activities. And I personally also still think now that I want to serve in any capacity I can, serve my country, serve my community, and serve Pakistan
What are your
in any
hobbies?
way I can, whether it's through activism or through social service.
What are your hobbies?
I enjoy reading a lot in my free time, which I get very less because of my work and all, but I enjoy reading a lot, sir.
And other than
And
that,
traveling, meeting new people, traveling.
okay, all your hobbies are your work related things. You know, reading also is part of your work. Traveling also is part of your work. Tell me one hobby which has got nothing to do with your work.
I
Maybe
think music.
gardening or cooking or washing clothes. For instance, washing clothes and ironing clothes is my hobby. I love that. So, what
I,
is your hobby?
I sometimes enjoy cooking food. It's nice to cook food and then eat it. I enjoy the experience, and I've done few times, but I've enjoyed it.
Good,
And
good, good.
I
Yeah.
enjoy meeting friends, some old friends sometimes, and sitting with them.
All right. So, Ross, you have seen FNF working in Pakistan. Oh, who's this?
He's my son. He has joined me, Kabir
Oh,
Mahtani.
hello.
Hi, Kabir.
What's his name? What are your names, sir?
Kabir. His name is Kabir.
Kabir. Hello, Kabir.
So no,
Come say hello to
he's
me.
saying hello.
Hello, Kabir. Kabir is interested to be online, right?
Yes, he
Okay.
wanted to see what his father is doing.
All right. And now he's satisfied, and now he's back to work. Okay, Kabir, come. He wants to come
Yes,
again. Ajo, Ajo.
he wants to come again. He's actually looking for his paintbrush.
Yeah. Hello, Kabir. Welcome to the show. All right, Ross.
Thank you, thank you.
You have seen FNF's work as a young boy in Pakistan. How do you see this? How do you see the contribution of an organization like FNF in creating liberal spaces for youngsters like yourself?
I think they have played a very important role and a positive role. First of all, providing a platform where the youth can come and discuss and also understand and meet the icons of Pakistan, I should say, and providing them a space to discuss on the issues that they think important. Personally, in my personal level, I think I owe a lot to FNF because I have personally learned a lot from being part of their different activities. And the clarity that I've got, the discussions have been very stimulating and interesting always. So I think they have played a very positive role in providing, first of all, space to the Pakistani liberals, and also to discuss the challenges, the way forward, and do something good for the country. And from where the members can play a part for the welfare of the country.
This is one question I'm asking every guest every night. So that's the prime question, and everyone waits for this question. And here is the time to ask you this. And the question is that if I give you a magic wand, what is one thing about Pakistan that you would like to change overnight? Magic.
Okay. I think the one thing that I would like to change is that the policies of the country, the constitution should represent the vision of vision of Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The vision, especially that he gave on his first Constituent Assembly. It marks a lot of importance because it was to the first Constituent Assembly of Pakistan, and he was sharing his dream, his way, that how he sees Pakistan. So I think one thing which I could change would be that our policies, our constitutions should represent that vision.
Very interesting. Do you think youngsters of today's Pakistan, uh, maybe younger than you, maybe the generation after you or your generation, are we actually interested to know about our constitution? do we read our constitution? Do we know how important it is? Or is this a reality of some crazy people like you and me?
Unfortunately, what I see in the youth and what also when we see our educational syllabus, there is no subject of constitutional constitution or even the fundamental rights that are enshrined in constitution. So I think this is very unfortunate that when I meet a lot of youth, I travel a lot in Pakistan. This is also what we have discussed sometimes that youth do not get opportunity in their syllabus to study subjects like Constitution of Pakistan, which is very important. And I would say rather that if they don't even study the whole Constitution, even if they study the chapter consisting of fundamental rights from Article 8 to Article 28, which are hardly 2 to 3 pages, even if that is introduced in the syllabus, that will be even more than that will be also for the time being enough to give the knowledge to students and the youth that what are the fundamental rights that the state has guaranteed them. I think it's a beautiful chapter in the Constitution of Pakistan, fundamental rights, but it is missing
Absolutely.
in the education syllabus, in the discussions, in universities, in colleges, in schools.
You just mentioned that, Ross, you have traveled and you do travel a lot within Pakistan. So, what would you like to tell us about how do you see GB? How do you see Punjab? Oh, hello, Kabir.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's perfectly all right. I mean, I would actually want to talk to him.
Kabir?
Hoping that the liberal mindset and liberal ideology will run in the family from your generation to the next. I would like to interview Kabir also as the youngest liberal of of our fraternity. All right, so Ross, you travel around the country a lot. So tell me one interesting thing, one unique thing that you want to tell us about Gilgit-Baltistan, one unique thing that you really like about Punjab, about KP, Balochistan, Kashmir, because you have traveled all over the country. So tell me one interesting thing that strikes you and your heart catches that.
I think whenever I've traveled different parts of Pakistan, the first thing I think is the beautiful diversity that we have in our country. I read sometimes that people say, I listen to people speakers, they say that the diversity should be accepted. But I strongly believe that we should not only accept it, but we should celebrate. It's the time when we should celebrate this beautiful diversity. I was in Thar last year, and it is a completely different. It has a completely different touch, and
Yeah.
The old temples of Jainism and Hinduism there. I think it's completely a different touch, and Pakistan has a lot to offer in tourism and to different sides, the beautiful north and the hospitality of all the regions, I should say. People are so warm, so welcoming, and it has a lot to offer.
What do you want to change
From
about
Peshawar to the food of Peshawar,
Yeah.
and from Peshawar to Karachi, I think there's beauty in every aspect.
And it is about time to celebrate this diversity. You're
True,
absolutely
true.
right. What would you like to change about yourself?
I think when I think of changing myself, I think I am always open to learning, and I believe that one should be open to the critical feedback. And I think what I think is one should be always open for learning new things.
My question is still there. What would you like to change about Ross Mahtani?
For the time being, I cannot think of something which I really want to change at the moment.
Which is great.
But I think there is room for feedback, for improvement always.
But if you don't think
others, but in fact, Tawseeq Saab, you know me since many years. I think you would be in a better position to tell what changes do I need, because sometimes we are not good in self-reflection as well.
Such a
But
clever
as a good friend and as a senior friend, I think you can guide me better in this aspect.
you are such a clever person when, when we teach communication and the art of hosting. And so one point that I always mention is that uh, question back. If a host asks you a tricky question, ask the same question back to him. So this is exactly what you have done, Ross. Naughty boy. No, you're doing a great job, Ross, and I'm so very happy. I keep following you on social media because
Thank
there's
you.
some people I'm interested, especially the generation after us, the way you are trying to find solutions to the problems of this country. It's really, really encouraging. What is the in community development, in behavioral change, in the mindset, in celebrating diversity, in preaching all these things and ideas, all the liberal values? That what is the biggest challenge for you and people like you, that you think that this is the biggest challenge we face when we go into communities and talk about liberal solutions to Pakistan? What is the biggest challenge that come across?
I think that when if I talk about challenges, I think we lack critical thinking in our society. One of We don't think critically, objectively on different issues and things. I think this is lacking in society. So first of all, the lack of critical thinking, even in our schools, colleges, universities. And I was studying about the Vision 2025, the government policy, and I was so happy to see in that policy document, that government plans to also promote critical thinking within the students of Pakistan, which is a very encouraging and welcome step from government, that they think that it's about time that the critical thinking should be encouraged and promoted in students. And I think, first of all, critical lack of critical thinking. Secondly, the growing extremism.
That is a big challenge. Okay, how do you see the use of social media in Pakistan? Do you think the hate speech and this polar ideologies and expression of these polar ideologies so blatantly on social media, and with so much of hate on social media, is there a solution, or do you consider like it's a freedom of expression, it's freedom of speech, freedom of media? So what is the future then? So how do you see this challenge?
I think the government has now taken serious steps to address the hatred stuff on social media. The FIA cybercrime is very active and doing a good job. And my few friends have lodged complaints, and they were addressed uh, at a very prompt level. So
Okay.
I think they are doing a good job in countering the hatred stuff on social media.
But I think your maybe curriculum and syllabus also needs to be
Yes, needs
revisited.
to be reviewed and updated. It needs to be reviewed and it needs to be updated. It also, I think there's a strong need that the hatred material in educational syllabus should be removed, and it should be the one which promotes peace, interfaith harmony, intersect harmony, and diversity also.
And as you very rightly said, I think that's a very interesting take for me from this session today, that some parts of our constitution should be made part of the curriculum. No, maybe
Yes.
not at a very early stage, but maybe at 8th, 9th, or 10th grade.
And even at least the chapter which has the articles consisting fundamental rights.
Exactly, the fundamental rights, because you are creating a product for the market, and if the product doesn't know my rights in the market, how will the product survive? So that's it. What are your
And
dreams?
I think this, I would just like to add that this step will help in making citizens a responsible citizens in country.
Absolutely. What are your dreams and aspirations for your children? You have two kids, right?
I have one son. I have one son.
One son. So what are your dreams for Kabir? He's
I
not
think
talking to me, so I have to talk about him.
I think what I personally, if I could give him a good education, and I won't uh, enforce him any particular field, but in whichever field he wants to excel, and in whichever field he enjoys himself, I would encourage him to do. to follow that field. And
Very,
a good sound education, if I could provide him, that will be, one of the best gifts from parents.
absolutely, absolutely. 100%. I agree with you. Where do you want to see, or where do you see Ross Mahtani 20 years from now?
20 years from now, I think I see myself
Make it 10.
Big 10.
Make it
Okay.
10 or
For
20, whatever.
next 10 years, I think I see myself in Pakistan. I'm interested to, to work at a larger level for the community, for the country. So sooner or later, I would try to join politics, because at that level, you can play a role at a larger level. For
I was fishing for this answer. I was fishing for this answer. I'm so happy to hear this.
I believe at a larger platform, you can bring a change. And
good.
I think this is what I think of
active politics
at a later stage, maybe.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to our future Member of Parliament, Mr. Ross Mahtani. All right. So, Ross, what is one advice to the foundation? Give one advice, one mashwara, what we call it mashwara muft, one free advice to FNF Pakistan.
I think they have been doing great work. I think they should continue to work especially they should include the youth of Pakistan. They do a lot, and they give space to youth, and they have a lot of engagement with the youth. But I think they should continue this more. Like in the previously, we had the Future Youth Group, which was a platform at a provincial and national level. Likewise, I would also, they have always been encouraging religious minorities in their program, which is worth appreciating. I think they should give more space to minorities also, and to their issues also, because in their platforms they can highlight their views, their opinions, and it will bring a more inclusive touch in their work. They do a lot, but I think there can be more space for this in the future as well.
Ross, thank you very much for your time. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Same here. I also really enjoyed, and the time passed so quickly.
Yes, and I want to see you grow more in whatever you do, and get more achievements and success in your work and in your personal life. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tawfiq Saab. See you soon.
See you soon. All right, guys. So this was Ross Mahtani, my friend, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Please give your comments in the comments box down under. And if you want to share the conversation with other friends, please feel free. Follow the page of FNF Pakistan for other sessions which I've been conducting with other liberal colleagues and friends and fraternity from different parts of the country. Take good care. Goodbye.
Yeah.